Hey guys, it's Monday, May 23rd. Happy long weekend or Victoria Day. Um, we had quite an amazing weekend. I know everyone had some fun, but specifically for us that chimed into Women in Network Marketing Conference, like last year, me, Sophia, and Alana attended it, and it was literally life-changing for us. It changed the way we approached our business. And it really did the exact same thing this year, except even on a, I think, larger scale, and really showed us like we got to get moving. We need to fire up our butt, and we need to stop making excuses. One of the big things is, we got to treat this like a job. This isn't a hobby. This isn't our business. It's our job. Because until there was actually a quote, and I want to start it off with this before we get into it. No, I don't know where my quote is, so I might just have to wing it. But the whole point of this was that they said, treat your network marketing business like a job until you develop your entrepreneurial skills. Then you can treat it like a business. So right now, I don't think any of us are at the point where we can treat it like a business. We have to start treating our network marketing business like a job, meaning we have hours, we have schedules, we are accountable, and that's the only way we're actually going to get successful in it. And that was a big awakening.
Show up every day, whether we want to or not.
Whether we're sick. He was like saying, whether you're sick, whether you're this, like you would still show up. If you had a job and you had things to do, you would still show up for it. And it was like, damn, like so right. We really have not been doing that. I know I haven't fully been doing that. So yeah, a lot of great insights, and we're going to talk about that. So today, we want to go over Women in Network Marketing. We want to talk about the highlights that we got out of it. We also want to, we had a few conversations about our leadership team, and we've gone over the outline of that and what it's going to look like. So we're going to talk about that with you guys. And then there's also Nikan and Cinco Kai announced that there's an app.
Yeah. How many of you guys have downloaded the app? Raise your hand.
Me.
I did.
I don't know if you can actually log in though.
I logged
in.
Bro, I tried to log in. It kept saying incorrect.
You probably have the wrong password because I had the wrong one.
I'm annoyed. Anyways, we'll try that later.
So
it's pretty good.
We're still looking through it. Like I haven't really, maybe, I don't know if anyone has had a chance. Has anyone had a chance to really kind of like learn about it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, we can talk briefly. I haven't really learned much about it either. I think they do have some tutorials, but there's got some cool stuff. Like they have videos that are actually really good videos. Like I would highly recommend it and watch the videos that they have on there. Soph posted one of them on her story and it was really good. They also have an opportunity for you to send people free products as like samples.
Yeah. I saw that. That's amazing.
But I'm pretty sure we do have to buy credits or something. I don't know what
you need to get,
or
like,
maybe you earn credits.
It's a point system probably. So you get like rewards when you reach a certain level of points, right?
Maybe no, I didn't know.
Through purchases.
So yeah, so we can give samples and stuff, which is awesome. And makes it really easy. You could do it on the call, and then they are on the app. So anyways, that's something that we should all look into, and maybe we could talk more next week, but let's get started. So why don't we just start by talking about Women in Network Marketing? I don't know, guys, how do you think we should go about this? Should we just start with like day one, day two?
Well, I know we've watched it twice now. Honestly, what I would love to start with is really just like ask maybe like Moya, I don't know if she can, but what one of her greatest takeaways or maybe what one of her favorite speakers were from the event and why. And then we can kind of roll with it that way.
Are you eating plantain?
Yeah, plantain chips.
Oh,
yeah, so good.
I had plantain this morning for breakfast.
Yeah, so my laptop has been giving me some issues, so my apologies for being late. But wow, there were so many great speakers. I don't know how to pick my favorite one, but let's see, give me a second. What I really liked, what stood out to me was Michelle Polar. And I love the fact that she was just mainly focused on just being authentic, being yourself, like focusing everything that you do, whether it's like your business or just how you live your day-to-day life, around your core values. So
That was the last speaker.
yeah, I think that was last one.
Her name's Michelle
But
Pollard.
she
I didn't
was
catch her name, but oh my God, she was so good.
amazing.
Yeah, she was really good. I love the fact
She
that
talked about, just to give context, she talked about how to build your own personal brand.
Mhm.
Well, she did personal brand, or what was it? It was self-discovery, self-worth, and self-promotion. And those were all like different levels. And like the first one was self-discovery. So it's like, what's your personal brand? What do you want people to think? Like when people think of you, like what are those values? What are the 3 values that they identify with you? You want that to be, you want any person you ask to say the same 3 things. Like you want to be so clear in what your values are when you come across on social media or different platforms. And so she talked about that. She talked about your tone, what tone do you have in your voice? And not everyone's going to agree with your tone, and that's okay. And then she talked about USP, which is unique selling proposition. So like based off your story, based off your values, like what is one way that you're unique in your network marketing business?
What
Like,
differentiates you from everyone else?
Yeah.
What I really loved about her was that she emphasized the fact that we all already have a personal brand. And the more you can lean into who you already are, the more you're going to stand out. The more you embrace like all the things that make you, the more you're going to stand out. So always asking yourselves the question, what is everyone else doing and how can I be more me? Don't try to be a cookie cutter. If you have a weird lisp, like own that weird lisp.
Yeah.
If you, I don't know,
You have an eye roll every time you eat good food, own that eye roll.
Yeah,
eye twitch.
it's part of your unique personal brand. Exactly.
Like I'm not even kidding, guys.
that's where
The
she
amount of
got
people that have like
that's where she got talking about self-worth, right? Because she was like saying like, what's like, I want you all to think right now one thing that you don't like about yourself. Like one thing that you don't like that you do. Like, so for example, it was her self-centeredness.
Yeah.
Like one person, I want you to just one person volunteer and tell me what you don't like about yourself.
my lack of
My indecisive. Oh, sorry.
I talk fast when I'm passionate about something. Like if it's a topic I can like just go on about, I'll be like very much on it. And I find that I talk really, really fast. I probably don't get my whole point across, but
So probably allows you to make decisions quicker.
yeah.
Because
or just the fact that you're super passionate, right? The things we don't like about ourselves are are byproducts of things that make us great. So Megan, even you said you're indecisive, right?
Yeah, like I think it's because I'm like my moon is a Cancer and my sun's a Sag. So I feel like I always have an internal conflict. Like one's like be free, another one's like, yo, like chill out. So like I'm kind of all over the place.
And how many people do you think relate to that? Like feel like they have an internal conflict. Maybe they have, yeah.
Oh my God, all the time.
So the more I think you can just own that and like share that and be like, hey, guess what? I'm not one thing. I'm actually all of these things. More people are gonna resonate with your message.
like I think also indecisive
You're
could be like it means that you're open to a lot of different things. Like you're open, right? Like I think I don't remember what she wrote, but
with your decisions.
yeah, like for me, like I'm a perfectionist with things, but I'm detail oriented. I'm very detailed with what I do. So owning what we are and like it's okay. Like I remember this, I was actually even a topic, like I was talking to a friend when I was in BC a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh, like I always tune out of conversations. Like I'm here, I'm talking, someone's talking to me, and then I just fucking float away. Oh, sorry, I swear. It's not childproof anymore in this video, but I float away and then I come back and I'm like, shit, where again, I swear, where did I go? So like part of that quality of me is also why I'm so flowy. Like I'm able to just flow with wherever I am. And that's just a byproduct of it. But like, it's also a good quality about me. So and he pointed it out to me. It was like, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
So
I really think it's about turning
it's the way that you see it.
your weaknesses into your strengths by how you shift your perspective around what it is. Because I also still think that when you start to take on that more empowered perspective, it allows you to become more grounded in that trait of yourself. So it's not so much that, like, balance is important. And so indecision, can mean that you take time with how you go about making your decisions. You're diligent, like, that when you make a decision, you're all or nothing. So you want to make sure it's the right one for you. Maybe it's more about trusting your intuition, making a decision from the heart, but also recognizing that you don't want to just be sitting in that inner conflict at all times. But how you start to choose to shift your perspective around what that trait, what that aspect of yourself looks like, I think that's when we start to bring it more into balance. Take on an empowered perspective, it comes more into balance, it becomes a strength for you and how you relate to others in the world. So yeah, and then share that, like, so sad, like, the fact that so many people can relate to everything that was just shared on this call. Like, I think I shared it in our group chat today. Daniel G, really, I talk about him all the time, but I guess he's one of my mentors and I don't realize it. But I follow his work very, like, diligently. And he just talked about today the fact that, like, closed mouths don't get fed, so become louder, like, become more yourself, and then become louder in terms of how you share that with others. Don't shy away from that.
Share your story loud and proud, share your products, share your services, share it all loud and proud.
That was
Those mouths don't get fed.
That was her third point, self-promotion, right? It was about promoting. She said promoting ourselves is not an act of courage, it's an act of kindness. Don't treat your contribution, like, give us what you got. When you're thinking like, oh, I'm being annoying, like, no, be loud. Tell people what you're giving. Tell people what your value is.
Yes. And here's another thing too.
I was just telling Sophia, like, when I achieved Club Ki, the post that I thought was going to be annoying because I posted like so many other things that week and so many things that day, it was that post that got me a sale, because I got someone replied to me and said, I want to buy a waterfall, to that post that I was almost not going to post because I was afraid of being annoying. But I showed that person what I was here to value, what my value was, that I was helping and I was educating. So be unapologetically ourselves. And when we connect to our true selves, others want to engage with that also, because others want to engage with authenticity.
Yeah. So, and what I was going to say was too, like, this goes back to your own belief and what it is that you're doing. So belief in your services, belief in your products. When you believe, you hold value at the end of the day. I mean, most of us use these products every single day now. When you believe the value that you have to offer, like, you're doing a disservice by not sharing it with people. And I think part of the reason too, sometimes why we keep ourselves from not sharing more is because we think, like, we live in a world that's incredibly saturated, where everyone's kind of doing the same thing at this point. Everyone's online, everyone's like talking about their product, their service, like their brand, everything. And it's like, yeah, part of that is true, but there's people out there who need to hear the message delivered through you. Like, they need to hear your words, they need to hear your story, they need to hear your relationship, your connection to it, not the next person.
They don't buy what you do, they buy who you are.
Yes. And truly, like, when you start to tap into that interplay in life of being both a student and a teacher, like, you are a teacher for so many other people. You need to be that person for some people who aren't going to resonate with the story coming from me, for instance. So the more you can start to lean into that, I think the less we'll start to shy away from being repetitive, being consistent, but doing it in a way that's true to us.
I like that she also touched on, like, the fact that when you compare yourself, you're like worried about what everyone else is doing and you just become one more, versus when, like, you contrast and look at you, it's like, what is everybody else missing that I have? Right? And then also you're one of a kind, and like sticking to that.
So wait, what was that? I love that. I think I wrote it down, but I don't remember. What section was that in?
That was under unique selling proposition.
When you contract, I'm gonna highlight. Contract to become one of a kind, right? Yeah.
That's why I'm now the network marketing yogi on Instagram. I think contrast is great.
I'm gonna give everyone homework because I think this is valuable for all of us.
Write it down, folks. You
Yeah,
got
write it
homework
down.
from Miss
Um,
Savannah.
Okay, so the first thing that she said to do was write down things that you don't like about yourself, write those down and reframe them.
Lost my pen.
Like, because what you'll find is a lot of those things are actually what makes you you. Like, so for example, her example was her self-centeredness. But what she realized is that it allows her to prioritize her needs and to be confident. It's that gives her those great qualities about herself. So there's qualities that we have, and I've even noticed like we really try to change ourselves, but like it's just part of who we are, and reframing that. And so
Can I just say, this is like a really simple way of telling someone to do shadow work. You know what I mean? Like this is shadow work, but put so clearly and simply, like.
I know.
True. So we're gonna
This is
write
why
down
it's a personal
what we
development
don't like
program at
about
the
ourselves
compensation plan.
and the byproduct of that. So what is the byproduct? What's the positive of that? Then we're gonna write down what makes us remarkable. And we're gonna write, I am remarkable because. And you're gonna write all the things. And a lot of the times you'll find they relate to like for example, like I wrote with myself, like one of the things that I struggle with myself is the fact that, you know, I can just like sometimes I'll prioritize others' needs before my own. Like I'll just drop, but like I'm remarkable also because I will drop everything to help someone else. Like I would
really care.
It means I really care. It means I'm really empathetic. So there's those qualities, and we write down in ways that we are remarkable and notice them. And every time that you're feeling down about yourself, if there's something that you're not liking about yourself, go back to that list. And whenever you think of something else that's new, that's remarkable about you, write that down because you are unique. And these are things that we need to remember. They're important because our confidence and all this personal work, like what, especially like guys, if people watch this conference, everyone would want to be part of network marketing because network marketing is personal growth. It's personal development. Like that's literally what it is. It's about becoming a better version of yourself and teaching others how to do the same.
And getting paid in the process.
And what we be learning, we gotta brainstorm as a team. We gotta figure out how we can send that message across. But first, we need everybody to understand why network marketing is like that. That's why these conferences are really important. That's why when we get that recording, I encourage you to watch it, like take notes, and make sure you watch the speaker, Michelle Pollock. She's she's the last person that spoke. Highlight that. Make sure you watch her. I have one more thing that I want to give you to do. So do that and then ask somebody in your life what makes you remarkable. Because a lot of the times we don't see the things about ourselves that makes us remarkable. And she even said, like, you might feel embarrassed. You might be like, oh, they're like, what? Like, just say that, you know, you were told that you had to do this. So ask someone in your life what makes you remarkable. And one other thing. She said, you know, talk about like being unapologetic within yourself. Find one word that you want to own. I am unapologetically blank. Find one word that you want to own that you are unapologetically, that you act unapologetically. And so that's the homework that I want to give us all to do for ourselves from this speaker.
I'm sorry, can you just repeat that last sentence?
Yeah. So the last one is saying, find that one word that you are and you are unapologetic about being that way and say, I am unapologetically blank, and own that in every character. So like, for example, Jessie Lee, I remember last year she was talking about her story and like how she was super loud and she yells at people. And like, that's something that could be, you know, seen as annoying and people don't like, but she started to own that quality about her. And that is her whole brand. Her whole brand is being loud and obnoxious and like, I'm here. And it works for her because she owned it.
Because she actually is that way.
She is that way. She's also
like she's not faking it, you know, she's just being herself.
So we just dig deep and we got to figure out, you know, what is it about us that makes us unique? And start owning it rather than being ashamed about it.
Again, that's what's
Okay.
so brilliant and also challenging about this business, guys, in general, because you got to dig deep and find out who you are.
Yeah.
You got to deal with your shit. You know, you're not being told to be a certain way or do a certain thing by another person. You're not taking on a role. You're not dressing for the part. It's literally you against you. But if you can work through that, you know, again, the opportunity, the upside of all of that is just like astronomical. Absolutely astronomical.
What I say is let's go around for all the people that were on the event and just say one thing really quickly that stood out to you, and then we'll move on. But we
I
might
got stuff to share, man.
Yeah, share so.
share. What do you mean? Share. That's what
Okay.
I'm saying.
No, I know. I just feel like I have to wait my turn sometimes because everyone's talking.
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay. So one thing that became abundantly clear is realistically, guys, only less than 3% of the people on the planet are going to live the way that we want to live, are going to have the lifestyle that we're after. And it's not a common thing for somebody to have total time, money, location freedom. And because it's a not common thing, we have to be willing to become uncommon types of people. We have to be willing to become extraordinary. That means not doing what the other 97% does. So you have to ask yourself, like, what am I willing to give up? What am I willing to sacrifice? I think I'm realizing that a lot of the bad habits that I have, they can't come with me to the next level. Because if I want to stay ordinary, I'm always going to have an ordinary life. If I want to be extraordinary, I have to choose habits that only 1% of the population is actually going to commit to. I also started to realize through this process that what we really need is simple, duplicatable systems. We've been thinking about, structures a lot. We do have a system for contacting and inviting someone that works well if you use it, right? But then again, not everyone is actually using it. But one system that was mentioned over this weekend by a woman named Susan Sly that I really loved, it was called the 3x3. And it's the reason why I love it because it's simple and it's doable. So 3 new looks or conversations per day, 3 follow-ups per day, and 3 actions of pouring greatness into current and future team. She said, if you do this every single day, by the end of a year, you will have reached out to 970 people and you would have put yourself in the 1%. Simple. 3 new conversations a day, 3 follow-ups a day, 3 actions of pouring greatness with current and future team.
Top 3%.
Yeah, and I think if just the people on this call committed to that daily method of operations, because we do need a daily method of operations, right? We're treating this as a job now, which means every single day there are going to be tasks that you have
Everyone
to
has a choice. Everyone has a choice, right?
But if all 8 of us on this call committed to that 3x3, and this woman, she didn't have all the time in the world when she started her business. She said she had limited time. That's why she could only do 3 new conversations a day, 3 follow-ups a day, and 3 actions of pouring greatness into current and future team. If the 8 of us did that, I guarantee you in a year's time, we would have 10,000 people on the Sovereign Life team. And we would all be in a position where we could quit our jobs and just do this. But how many people are actually going to commit to that daily method of operations? Only 1%. So that was something that really stood out to me because it's just so simple. It makes so much sense. And it's not based on like, yeah, sell this many things a day. It's just like, can you consistently be talking to people? Can you consistently be starting new conversations with people? If you can do that and you can follow up and you can nourish the team that you already have, you're golden.
Along with that, like she also said, if you want to become someone, or if I want to become someone I have never been, I have to be willing to do things I've never done. That means waking up earlier. That means not watching that show before you go to bed. That means having the call, even though you're tired and you don't want to do it. Like it means doing things that you don't want to do, doing things that the other 97% are not willing to do.
Yeah.
That's
Something
all
that-
those people on that stage, they've done that. They've done the things that others were not willing to do. That's how you get to the 3%. And
Yeah.
along with that, valuing your time she said, if you want to make $1 million a year, you need to value your time at $500 an hour.
Yeah.
What does it, and I started thinking, okay, what does it look like to be worth $500 an hour? Well, number one, I'd value every single second in that hour, because every single second in that hour is valuable, meaning I wouldn't be late for a thing. I would be there, I'd be punctual, I'd be present, I'd be making count. Like, rather than thinking like, oh, like it was even just like they were talking about how, like, rather than thinking like, I can make I'm going to make $1,000 in the month. Imagine thinking I'm going to make $1,000 in this day. How differently would you act? How differently would you think what you'd be doing if your goal changed from a month to a day? And then with that change, how much would your I forgot what I was saying.
Your actions and your habits change, but basically you don't need to be making $1,000 a day to think like someone who's making $1,000 a day, or to act like someone who's making $1,000 a day. And I think if we can all put ourselves in that mindset, then we're going to see our actions change. Stormy Wellington, she's my favorite speaker at these events every time. I know like Elena and Sven probably agree. She is an anomaly in network marketing. So she came from a really harsh background. She was a stripper at 14 years old. She got pregnant with her first child at 15. Her parents were both drug dealers, just came from like a really bad upbringing. I think she said that she tried network marketing around 18 years old, didn't really stick with her. But then at 28 years old, it was reintroduced to her at a time where she needed to pay her bills. And she was just done having a job that underpaid her.
She was like,
she went out,
and her promotion was 25 cents. And she was like, she was like,
screw this.
Yeah.
So she got again introduced to an opportunity for network marketing. And she said at first she worked her business like a job. She went out every day at 9 a.m. and she did not go home until she had made $100 that day.
150.
Was it 150?
Yeah, because she had her bills to pay, and
she had to make $4,000 a month, and she knew if she could make $150 a day, she could pay her bills $4,000 a month. Within her first year of network marketing, she made $1 million.
And now
she has days.
She's
had
had
days
days
where
where
she makes
now she has days. She's had $1 million days. Like she's
$1.5 million days.
Imagine making $1.5 million in a day. That's nuts.
She's personally sponsored over 7,000 people.
Yeah.
This is not including the people who her people have sponsored, like her herself.
I think what's really important about her story. Sorry, we're all lagging at different times. I'll just say this, but I think.
But she's not, and you need to know, she's not selling anything special. She's selling like workout supplements, weight loss supplements, something.
I think what's really important about her story is that she has a mission statement, and I didn't write down exactly what her mission statement was.
I did. I actually wanted to touch on this.
Okay, say her mission statement.
Her mission statement is, I am the most powerful woman to be living, essentially. I'm the most powerful woman to be living this lifetime. And hold on, I have it in my notes.
Well, she said I'm the most influential.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Most impactful. It's impactful. I am one of the most impactful. I got it right here. Okay. Mission statement. Bro, I know I wrote this down.
It had to do with being
most impactful woman alive while having a quality of life and doing whatever I want for myself and others. Mm-hmm. So she's having an impact, not at the expense of herself.
Can you say that again?
She said, I'm the most impactful woman alive while having a quality of life and doing whatever I want for myself and others. And
That's
so
her, but that's her personal mission statement.
Mission
I think we
statement.
all need to take time and think about what is my
Well,
personal
Why I
mission
brought
statement
that
for
up
my
is because
life.
what I really loved about it was the fact that, and she even touched on this, like it had to do, like she touched on more than one thing. Like it was
can I jump in
about
here for a
other-
second?
It was about other people. but
Yeah,
it
can I
was
jump in for a
Am I
second?
finished speaking? You're like interrupting me. It was about other people, but it was also about the fact that she was like doing it. She was also doing it for herself so that she could do things for other people.
Yeah. So essentially, what I wanted to say is she's at a point now where she could retire. Like, you know, nobody needs 1.5 million entirely for themselves in a day. Like, nobody needs that. The reality is we can live with very minimal. Like, we don't need much in this life. And I think traveling over the last 6 months has really showed that to me. The reason why she keeps doing what she's doing and making the millions that she's making is because beyond being able to support herself and do whatever she wants in this life, she realizes that if she doesn't show up today and every other day, somebody else out there is losing out because she needs to be the soil for them to be the seed in, essentially. She needs to be the soil for them to grow their life, to change their lives. And she literally said, like, someone once said to her, like, you're going to leave network marketing. You have all these other streams of income. And she was like, I would never, ever, ever leave network marketing because of the kind of impact that she's able to make. Because what we have is a vehicle. And I talked about this on my story the other day. What we have is a vehicle that creates equal opportunity at a better quality of life. Doesn't mean it's easy. And this is what's interesting. You mentioned the 3%. So if the reality is 4% live this way, we have a vehicle that could change that reality, because we have a vehicle that offers the opportunity for people to transition from one world to the next. And the hard part about it, but also the reward, is who you become in the process of that, because you either change and become the person that steps into their greatest potential and power, or you shrink back to your comfort and what you know, and you continue to play small in this life. But the objectivity in terms of the opportunity and what the vehicle offers is the same for every single person. I feel connected to that very strongly because we live in a world where people are not born into equal circumstances nor have equal abilities. There is such great disparity. And so we have a blessing that we have the opportunity to share with as many people as possible to help create more of that synergy, to create more of that balance and that transition for many, 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 many lives. And Stormy literally said, we need to save the industry. And I felt her when she said that, because it's wild that there's such a misconstrued perception around what network marketing is, because people don't actually understand what it has the capacity to be and offer for so many lives.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel so connected to that in so many ways. The impact, I think that's what really gets someone from making, what they're making right now in their salary job, and really lights the fire under their ass to go a little bit further. And because the reality is there's a lot of people who are making decent income right now in their job. So there's no real urgency right now to quit, or to not necessarily quit, but to create something different. So I really want to encourage all of us to start to tap into that reality for ourselves as well, who you need to show up for in this business beyond just yourself, right? Because that's inevitable. But it starts with you.
Who wants to watch the entire recording after hearing this conversation?
She said, focus on the impact, the income will follow, right? Your income doesn't change until you yourself start to change from the inside out. Your world around you doesn't change until you yourself start to change from the inside out. And then you need to go and act on that change. And so, yeah, focus on the impact, the income will follow. That is most definitely something that I connected with out of this entire conference.
Moya, do you have any last points that really stood out to you? And also Sam, I know you didn't really get to see the full thing, but you got bits.
We learned so much social media stuff too.
Yeah.
Right
Guys,
now might not be the time, but
let's let some other people speak. So
two things that stuck out to me. One was when, even if you don't have a story, a lot of them touched on it, just even if you don't have your own story, you're starting out, you don't have much to really speak on, like edify other people's stories.
Mhm.
And like take note of the fact that you were surrounded by certain people who have lived these lives, who have created the dream that you're working towards, and be real in that and be like, yeah, look, I haven't made I don't have the lifestyle I'm looking for, but this person does, and I'm working towards it. I'm working with them. Like they've done all these
Going there.
Exactly, I'm going there, and I want you to come with me. Like, look, you're gonna see me in the next 6 months. I'm gonna be different from where I am today. Start with me, but like being being in sorry, what's the word I'm looking for? Being true to yourself, the fact that like, yeah, I don't have a story yet, but I'm making mine, right? That was
Mhm.
I think also what holds me back is the fact that like I don't have a story yet. I don't have the
You do have a story.
I do. Okay, now you know what it is? Okay, there's one time I reached out to a different like network marketing business I was in, and I was like reaching out to my brother, and it was like, I think I was in like trading. So he's like, oh, what money have you made? And I haven't made as much yet, but that one thing that kind of stuck with me, because like I don't have anything to really say like, or anything to show at the moment, but it's not gonna happen for me,
Your story doesn't need to be what you
Yeah, someone was actually talking
have
about that.
earned or what you've built. Your story is like, why did you
Why you're
decide to
doing it.
even, why
Yeah.
are you even doing this in the first place?
Yeah.
What's your
That's a story.
vision? Your vision can be your story. And then you can also tell the stories of others.
Exactly.
Leverage the stories of others if you don't have your own. I leverage my dad's story all the time, constantly.
Exactly.
You could even leverage Stormy Wellington's story. You could leverage any of the stories of the people you heard on this weekend.
So I love that. The second thing that stood out to me was when Eric was talking about how like his like health issues and how he's been trying to just like get his fat percentages down in his body. And what stuck to me was creating an accountability structure. Like he made sure that no matter where he went, no matter where he was, he had people holding him accountable. Like whether he was at home, his wife was telling him, okay, look, doing this with me, we're doing this. And then he had his nutritionist saying, look, are you eating this? This is what you're eating for the week. He had a chef came in who made sure that like he had nothing in the house but to stick to his plan. When he was traveling, he had a travel kit and a travel plan. Like he made sure that he surrounded himself 24/7 with what is going to keep him on his goal. And I feel that's what we need as well too. Like, like you guys were talking about earlier, just like not watching that TV show that you're not supposed to be watching when you should be reading a book or catching an old recording. Like holding yourself accountable, but having everyone around you understand. Like again, when we're going on the 90-day run, telling everyone, look, for the next 90 days, I am not here. Like like I'm focused on the business. If it has something to do with me growing this, I don't want to hear it. It's holding yourself accountable and creating that environment where everyone around you can hold yourself accountable too. Like when you're slipping up and say, look, you're not working on your business and you're here scrolling on your phone, like having people around you and having the right people around you to hold yourself back into that, okay, I'm in my goal, I'm tunnel vision right now.
Right. Because the reality is if you're too comfortable, there's no change taking place.
Back to what you're I just want to
honestly, Moya, every time you speak, Moya, I'm just like, put this girl on a stage. Like, she just spits fire. You honestly you are a leader. You are a leader, and I just want to keep seeing you grow and grow more into that. If you talked on your Instagram story the way you just talked to us right now,
I know, like what?
People would be like, all right, what is she on? What is she doing? Like, what's this thing she's involved with? You got to just start acting like a person of influence because you already are one. So just, don't be afraid to share it.
Moya, go back on your notes of Sarah Zalecki. She was what you're talking about stories, what she said. And I think everyone should make note of this. She says stories create value, which we already know this, but guys, stories create value in your business. It could be your upline story. It could be someone else's story. It could be your own story. It could be your team's story.
Yes, I think
have a journal and collection of stories, whether it's about the product, whether it's about the business, make it relatable. Because we tell stories every day, but if we can teach people how to tell stories, that builds their confidence. And truthfully, stories is what people want to hear. Like stories is what sells in network marketing. That are all stories. So we need to get good at sharing stories. Sometimes it's not even about our business. Sometimes it's not even about the exact product. It's about sharing a story. So we have so many stories. And like what this girl, Sarah Zalecki, did is she actually had a journal, a collection of stories. She journaled so that when someone asked her about something, she could pull up her journal and flip to a page and tell a story about someone on her team, about her, about a product, about anything. She could tell that story. And yeah, it's really amazing when you think about it, because guys, like these women that are up there on the stage making
You
millions,
don't
of
need to be an expert.
they
essentially.
sell literally like freaking like weight loss.
Ketones, like things
Like-
to put in your drinks.
And like they literally said, like, put me in any business. Like, I don't want to hear you complaining about your business. I don't want you to hear you complaining about the product, about the upline. I don't want to hear any of that, because put any of us in that business and we will make it exactly
It's
what we
true.
made it, no matter what the conditions are. So that was also really eye-opening for me too, because it's like, yeah, it's so easy to look at something else and be like, oh, maybe that's better. Like maybe,
Yeah, maybe
How many
that's
times
the
have we already done
problem.
that? But listen, how many
Yeah.
times have we already done that, even with the Nikken products? I'm guilty of this myself. I'm like, Nikken's not caught up to where I'm at. I'm like, I'm not caught up to where I'm at. Like, I'm not there yet. You know what I mean? Like, the
like
reality
we
is,
can't be complaining about, like, even
No.
yes, Niken's on his way. Niken's got shit to update and they're doing it, but we can't keep complaining about that, because Niken's also got a lot of stuff that's unique. And like, imagine actually
yeah,
stories that we actually have with the products
Yeah.
are valuable. Like that doesn't exist with weight loss stuff.
no.
It does, but it doesn't.
Shampoo, like, it doesn't exist. You don't change
So-
lives with shampoo.
It goes back to what we were talking about with like our
I mean,
values
some people
also,
it's
right?
really
Like knowing, finding that thing that, you know, we might think is like negative, but it actually has a very big byproduct and positive thing about it.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
Sam, do you want to mention anything before we close up this conversation? Again, I highly recommend everyone watch this. And if you want us to send your notes, like I can send my notes. In the chat.
I know. I was writing like really fast, so like it's kind of
Yeah, they're kind of my notes, but like I could totally send them.
yeah.
When are they sharing the recording with us?
They haven't, I asked my dad, he said they haven't given the link yet to purchase.
I already purchased it.
Sorry?
I bought it when I
No,
bought
they have put the link out
Yeah.
to buy the replays. I think they did it every day.
He said they haven't done it yet.
Okay, we'll look into it after this.
Do you have it?
Like I've already purchased it. When I bought my ticket, I added that extra replay. So I
Did
knew
you
I
get
was
it
gonna,
sent to you yet?
Like, she should just be getting the links by this point.
yeah.
Okay,
You know
maybe,
what? We'll look into it after this.
maybe they'll
Um,
take a day to do it. So let us know when you get that and then see if you could send the link over.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Sam, what about,
yeah.
what about you?
Yeah, honestly, I think you guys touched on literally everything, and I'm definitely want to watch the replay and like hear all the things that I missed, because
We'll recommend like which speakers are like really worth watching, you know?
yeah,
Guys, if there's a
Definitely
few of you
similar.
guys even planning to watch the replay, make a day out of it.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, I would even come again. I would rewatch. I'm not there, but you know what I mean? Like, there's parts that I'm gonna rewatch.
I am gonna
So-
rewatch it because we can actually learn something just by watching it once. We gotta
Yeah.
actually study it.
But make a day out of it. Like, that would be a nice way to get together and like actually like learn and discuss.
One
Just a
thing
suggestion.
one thing
Go ahead,
that
Maya.
Yeah,
Aaron
I'm down.
said that stuck out to me too was like, what are your triggers that cause you to stay in inconsistency? So he talked about, he's like, well, someone says, oh, I'm like, I look like I lost weight, then I'm gonna stop working out. You know, like I'm gonna get confidence out working out. Or someone says, oh, your skin's clearing up, then I'm gonna go eat all this chocolate. He's like, what are your triggers that's gonna lead you back into inconsistency? That was
Right.
like, whoa.
That was really powerful too, actually.
Mhm, mhm. You're right. Like, reward ourselves by bringing us back into our comfort when we've reached the change we want to see. So
I do that
interesting
all
the
the
way the mind
time.
works sometimes.
Oh,
Yeah, right. I'm like, wow, like that's
yeah.
crazy.
I literally did that at work the other day. I was like, oh, like I'm doing so good. And then I ordered a freaking pizza. And like, I mean, because like I can't eat cheese. I can't. Like I
It's
get
like, oh, I
hives
feel
and
good,
shit.
so I'm gonna do this.
Yeah,
Just
It was so
self-sabotaging yourself
bad.
with that
it's
pizza.
literally it's the self-sabotage. It actually is.
Always.
It fully is. That's so
Yeah.
funny.
Okay, we can keep
Um,
talking about this literally like for
Yeah.
One more thing I wanted to
Okay.
mention, and I wanna mention it because I think I want to talk about it more in next week's call. But what stood out to me more so this time around than the last time was the idea of mentorship, how important mentorship is in this business, but what that actually looks like. The reality is, like, we are in a very fortunate position with this team and what's being offered to us in terms of resources and mentorship. But there are a lot of people who were on that stage who started on their own, like their upline quit, or their sponsor was not a part of the team anymore. Like, you know, all these things happen where they didn't really have a solid mentor. I say this a lot, like Sophia says, like we all say this, like not all, you know, opportunities, not all experiences are created equal when it comes to coming into network marketing, because mentorship makes a really big difference. But Jessie Lee, she talks about this a lot. She latches herself on to mentors who don't even know that they're her mentors yet. So Eric Worre was someone she was following for years before she actually got into a room with him and started working with him more intimately. So something I want to encourage every single one of us to do, because we all have our own style, we all have our own rhythm, we all have our own tone, what we resonate with is very different. We have so much mentorship within our community and our team as it is. You know, we're all mentors, I think, for one another. But I want to encourage every single person to find one person who's in the industry, who's in the profession that you would want to trade places with. And literally start to model them. Start to learn from them. That's your homework. Like, that's how you learn. Study what they do.
Yeah.
What they do will tell you how they're generating the results that they're generating.
Yeah.
And I don't mean find someone who is at the top. Stormy and both Jessie Lee kept saying this. I don't go to the middle because the middle's too close to the bottom. Find someone at the top who you genuinely would want to trade places with and start to model them. I bet if you model them for even just a month, your business would be in a different position today.
She also said,
If you post when they post, if you go live when they live, if you, you know,
please be aware that you interrupt. They also said to go back 5 to 10 years from when they first started.
When they started. So there's
Go
videos
back
like
to
Stormy's
that
got
point,
videos up.
and like they mean like scroll through their Instagram, go back and see.
I do
what
that all the
they're doing
time.
at that time.
Yeah, you want to see where they started, because the reality is too, like when you're sitting on millions, like your level of activity with the business is not as intense as when you first got started. So for even,
I mean, not Jessie Lee would probably tell you otherwise. I know she's like,
she's still one of the
super
top
intense.
recruiters. She's one of the top recruiters still. So she's like an engine that just keeps going. I think she loves it.
But she
genuinely.
didn't obviously always have the social media following that she has today.
Yes.
know,
Like
but-
even my uncle, you know, we have direct mentorship from him, but like there's videos from when even he first got started. And if he's someone that you connect with really strongly as a mentor, and his story is phenomenal either way, but it happened 30 years ago. So find out what happened, or look at the videos that took place at the time in which that story came to be. And latch on to those mentors. Like it can be anyone. It can be absolutely anyone. It's just for you to choose, because that's the person who you're really going to resonate with. And it needs to be someone that you'd be willing tomorrow to trade positions with, trade lives with. Solid. Okay, we'll talk more about it on Monday.
Yeah, how's everyone feeling?
Oh, really good.
I just want to leave the floor open for a moment just to hear. So I
Thanks for
know you're
watching.
speaking a lot because a lot of people didn't get to watch it, but for those that, you know, are just listening right now, how are you guys feeling?
I'm literally watching it tonight. Like I'm so inspired. I'm all the notes.
I don't know if you have it yet, but we can send you our notes and take photos of that.
Hey, Moya, did you get it?
Let me check.
She said she hasn't gotten the link yet.
Oh, okay.
Let us know if anything.
We'll
just
find
message
it.
us back.
Will it come from Marina? Because most of my emails came from Marina this evening.
Marina
Probably, yeah, definitely.
And guys, like I say all the time, I'm here, I'm back in the city. I'm gonna be grinding out this week, doing stuff. So if you want to meet up and you want to do work together, I'm available. Just send me a message and we can meet up.
Yeah. I think, you wanted to get together this week, right? To do some
Yeah.
content. So maybe we
Also
can
just,
just
I
like put it out there.
I think me and you really gotta have some strategy talks, like for us too.
Yeah.
But also would love to do social media things as well. I think we could plan ahead of time. That way our time's more efficient.
Yeah, I'm down
Together.
there.
Then let me get the link. Most of the thing was just talking about their couples retreat and the badass retreat thing. Yeah, maybe I'll get it. Maybe it's send back into my dashboard and it's there. I have no idea.
Okay, I know we're at 8:56, but let's just go till 9:05 because that's when we started. And we're gonna start talking about what the leadership team. So we did a lot of brainstorming and we came to a conclusion that the conditions for this very moment are going to be silver and above. The reason being is because those are people that have demonstrated leadership. Now, there still are qualities and commitments to being part of the leadership team that will be outlined with those that do qualify for leadership, including us. and we're going to have to stick to that. Now, that doesn't mean that no one who isn't silver will not be able to be leadership. So be in the leadership team. So what we've established is we want to still do the 3-month period, but we want to get you in faster than 3 months. So starting June, we've outlined a few conditions for that month. And if those conditions are met for the month, you can start to be part of the leadership team starting in July. There will still be, so let me go through that actually first.
Just to clarify, there's 2 right now. So technically with the silver and above, there's 5 of us on the leadership team at this moment. I mean, given it's voluntary, you have to actually voluntarily say like, I'm a part of the team. That's me, Sophia, Savannah, Sam, and Shelby. There's 2 positions available beyond that, which will be offered to any members on the team who do not currently meet those qualifications. And these conditions that we're outlining for the next month is going to be an opportunity for you to demonstrate leadership in another form and then move forward with one of those spots essentially.
So the opportunity is for the month of June. If you would like to be part of the leadership team starting July, for the month of June, you have to have booked 5 ABC calls in that month. Doesn't mean you've had to have led them. It just means that you've had to have booked them. So you've had to
Book them or done
it. Well, like, let's say like you have someone under you, you're part of an ABC with them, or you've brought somebody on and
you've done 5 ABCs essentially.
Yeah, you've done 5 ABCs. So that's one of the conditions. The second condition is every Monday team call, you are present. You are present, meaning you're not multitasking. You are present and you're on the call and you're contributing. Now, I know some people work Tuesdays and Thursdays, so that's like not something that we made mandatory. However, we are treating like anyone who's on the leadership team is treating this like a job, meaning this is your job. So if you have work, you tell work, I have another job on Monday night. I cannot come. I'm leaving at this time. I have a job. Bye. Like those are just the conditions, because if you're not, again, there's no pressure on any of this. It's just a matter of this is the commitment. This is what we're looking for this leadership team, because we really need a solid group here. So this is your job. People on the leadership team are treating this like their job right now. So Monday nights are mandatory. Your camera's on and you're actively contributing. You're speaking. You know, we're being part of the conversation. We're providing value. That's another condition. So those are the conditions that are needed for June. If those conditions are met by June, then July you can start being part of this leadership team. There's still going to be a condition, and you don't have to be silver in order to be part of the leadership team in July.
Yeah, these are just the conditions in place if you don't currently meet the qualifications.
Yeah. However, we do want it to be silvers, and that is why we're giving until August. So basically, there's going to be a 3-month-long period for you to have a chance to actually become silver. And going forward, any new members on the team, they have to be silver. They won't have this period of transition. But we just want to allow it so that people that are currently on the team working hard and being part of this can have an opportunity to be part of it. So starting by August, you'd have to have reached silver and demonstrated your own ability to do an ABC, meaning that you don't need your sponsor's help to do the ABC. You can actually do it on your own. You're able to do it on your own. You've demonstrated that you can do that. And I think by 3 months, if you're doing ABCs, you should be able to do that. The reason I just want to explain the reasons that we've outlined these conditions are because it's not about you having to have signed up this amount of people, done this amount of things. Like, it's not about that, because those are conditions we all have to set for ourselves. Then it's about your ability to show that you are a leader and are able to do things on your own. So those are some really clear conditions.
Maybe we should write those down and send them in the chat.
Yeah, for sure, I can do that. I'll have a few more things to say, but before I do that, does anyone have any questions on those conditions? Okay, cool. So next, what we have outlined is, and also I'll say for the leadership team, we are going to be doing a rotation. So the people that are on that decide to be part of the leadership team We're gonna have a chairperson. And again, we could talk more about this with the leadership team. I just want to let people know what we're thinking. So there's gonna be a chairperson, someone who's leading the call every week. Of course, everyone else is still going to be talking, but you're going to be the person that introduces, that talks about the agenda, that leads the conversation. And then we're also going to have somebody who's a note taker, someone who's writing down notes, because I think it's important for us to highlight key things so that everyone on the team can go back and look at those notes, look at the things we talked about. So those are two roles that we kind of just brainstormed that we want to touch on with the leadership team. Okay. Last thing I want to outline is just not the values, but I guess kind of the values. It's what are we as a leadership team and what aren't we? And sorry?
I think this is all so important and so relevant, but I on more of a discussion that everyone on the team can kind of like join in on, even with respect to our values. I think like what we've already kind of outlined are really important, but I also want to hear and have like that active dialogue where we can create that together. So I'm thinking maybe we save this for our first leadership call.
Okay. I mean, this is also relevant for what it means to be like the reason I was outlining. I guess, yeah, we haven't
fully defined it yet. And that's something that we all need to actively say, like, as a team, I am committing myself to you in this way, because we're committing to one another and essentially the contribution that we're choosing to make. So I think for the most part, moving forward, just to have an understanding for the entire team, the entire Sovereign Life community, there will be a leadership team that is now gathering so that we can help to create more structure, more systems to really get this thing up and running, to create more momentum for you guys, to make your business a lot more seamless, how to onboard new members, things like that. And we need less minds who are actually committing like very like focused and intentional time to creating this, who are committed to doing that. And in order to be a part of that team at this moment in time, you need to be a silver and above. But we are creating the opportunity for current team members to demonstrate their leadership qualities over the month of June with the conditions that Savannah outlined. Once those conditions are met, you have the opportunity, you're eligible to join the leadership team. Again, it's a voluntary choice because you need to commit to it yourself. Mm-hmm. And there's still going to be the 3-month window by the end of August. You need to have met the requirements of silver and be able to teach ABCs.
Yeah.
I want to ask the people that haven't yet qualified for this, like, do you feel does this motivate you? Does it discourage you? Like, I want to know what this feels like to you.
Big time motivator. Especially to give us, like, you always tell us like, okay, like make a goal and then have like a deadline to meet that goal. And I feel like, I don't know, for me, it's hard to make that and actually stick to it. But for someone else to be like, no, like you have to do it by August or you don't qualify, working for me.
Cool. Good, I'm glad.
Yeah, I definitely think that's very important. Like, I like how serious it's getting. I feel like when we're taking things more seriously, then our business is going to be more successful, and that's the only way to do it. Otherwise, it's going to be nonchalant all the time.
Facts.
Treat your business like a business, it'll pay you like a business. Treat it like a hobby, it'll cost you like a hobby. And
so just to be clear, the goal is 5 ABCs in June.
5 ABCs in June. 5 ABCs. You show up to every single, like, we're not being lenient with this commitment. You show up to every single Monday call with camera on, prompt, ready to actively engage. And again, the reason why we're not being lenient with it is because it's a standard that we need to uphold moving forward, because ultimately, if you're part of the leadership team, you're taking on the responsibility of like co-creating and building this community. Yeah. And there's a lot of weight behind that.
I just need to say before we get off our call, next Monday, I don't know if I'm going to be present because I'm doing a volunteer experience for 1 week. It starts on Monday. I don't know what my Wi-Fi situation is going to be. I don't know what my housing situation is going to be. I'm supposed to be living with the Mayan family. It's on the low, so I can't really talk about it. But yes, it's for Nikan.
Okay.
but I am
Okay.
just giving you guys a heads up now. And so for anyone on my team who wants to do ABCs with me for the first week of June, ask Eleanor, Savannah, or my dad.
Sounds good. Okay, guys. Other
Um,
than that,
yeah, I was just gonna say I'll make a note for it also, but for the this team, like I think with the team, with the leadership team, I think one of our first calls should really be about a lot of things, but also, figuring out like what is our vision for this leadership team, because as we've said, like this is Niken, but what we want to build is, Sovereign Life powered by Niken, meaning that it has the opportunity to become something even of its own. Sovereign Life has an opportunity to become something of its own. Whether that means, we're hosting retreats and nearby, like in the future, right? Like it could be a whole mind of its own, but it's like we want to create a vision of that. And that's something that's a collective vision. So I just wanted to share that because I wanted to show, where at least my mind is at with this, that it's not that why we're treating this like a like an actual business, like we're startup companies, because that's what it feels like. That's the energy behind it, is that it's meant to be even greater than what it is and what it's meant to grow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like honestly, our 10-year plan is to have Niken wellness homes in every continent on the planet, and like massive homes where you could host like retreats or yoga trainings or volunteer experiences and any type of thing that you wanted, and for our like team members to have access to those homes all over the world. That's like what we want, and that's why we need this mastermind group to really be the ones to come together to hold that vision, and for us all to really take it seriously and take action, because I think that we all really do want the same lifestyle. We have the same passions and the same values. And if we really put our minds together and do the damn thing, like there's literally nothing we can't do. We have the core group that we need here. Yeah.
all right, guys. Good night. I'm really excited. I think that, we'll go through. Are we doing a call tomorrow night? Are we
Oh.
gonna make it leadership call? What are we?
let's start by creating a group chat and we'll go from there.
But for everybody, for everyone knows.
I mean,
because-
I would love the opportunity to keep sharing things that we learned on the Most Powerful Woman
Yeah, me
event.
too.
Personally. I think it would be super valuable to talk about all the social media stuff that we learned.
I've
so-
honestly even just been loving the opportunity to meet and like brainstorm. So yeah, I mean, we can have a call.
Who's down? Yeah, I'm down for that tomorrow
I
night.
mean, whoever is free, whoever wants to, if you're in, you want to engage.
7? Do we want to do 8? What time do we want to do?
Let's check the
7.
calendar. I think there's something going on at 7 though on the calendar.
Oh wait, we have to do 8. I have a call. I have an ABC.
Elena
at
has
7.
an ABC
Yeah.
scheduled for 7, so 8.
Okay, sounds good.
So I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8. Whoever wants to hop on, we're going to be talking more about this brainstorm. It's just an open.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Solid.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.